and being the person who can call out wrongdoing, not necessarily join the bandwagon. It's not to now become hard-headed, Mr. I don't agree with everything or I don't agree with anything. But it's just to be sound in yourself, always open to new information, be able to reinvent yourself, because maybe the opportunity comes across and you are confined and restricted to yourself in a way you've boxed yourself. But I guess it comes with a bit of, you have to be adventurous or compartmentalize risk and be willing to reinvent yourself on this journey of career. So particularly before I came to Umastandi, which is on the property finance side, I was more of an asset manager with this commercial property company. So they had a portfolio of properties across the country, and I would monitor the levels of performance and ensure that occupancy levels are good, etc., and tenant installations are happening and being delivered on time. And then when the opportunity for property finance came across, that was another moment where I had to reinvent myself, because now I'm moving into a similar environment, but it's not the same thing. And be willing to learn as well as put across your opinion, because you come with something. There was something in you that they noticed or spotted or understand about you. But yeah, I think integrity is maybe the word to summarize coming throughout the various places. I think all of my previous employers will talk well of me. I think they'll talk well of me, and that I'll certainly, I give 120%. And 120% doesn't mean kill yourself. It just means that if your 20% is lacking, I will come in and see what we can do to bring you back up as a team. Maybe that's also another thing. I'm not necessarily individually driven. I'm very much centered around the organizational goals, and would even sometimes sacrifice myself. There's certain scenarios that I can remember where I've had to sacrifice the shine being on me for the greater good of the company.
Why is that? Why would someone who has an opportunity to shine and possibly outshine everyone sacrifice for themselves for the greater good of the organization, in your case?
I don't know. I don't know why I would necessarily do that. Maybe, so on the shallow surface, I think it's got a lot to do with just growing up in sports. And
you did a lot of sports. I was about to ask what your background has been.
I was big into sports. And,
what was it, soccer, rugby?
Both.
Both, yeah.
When I got to high school, there was no soccer at my school. It was just rugby. Well, not just rugby, but rugby is like the only ball sport for winter. So by force, we joined the rugby team, which ended up, and I remember growing up hating, or no, maybe not hating, fearing rugby, because in primary school, we didn't have it. You just saw, World Cup on TV and things like that. Anyways, I think the team sports dynamic of having a coach, of understanding that maybe you're the one who can score the goal, but the other person needs the goal for various reasons. And that will then build up chemistry amongst us all. Excuse. And that will build chemistry versus individual shine. But then there's judgment or doubt on the other person. And once your ego or your self-esteem is down, it's very hard to do simple tasks even when your self-esteem is down. But if you believe in yourself and your ego is boosted again and you feel confident again, the performance from that person is going to rise. So I think maybe that's a little key I've taken out from team sports and things like that, is the dynamic of not necessarily being individually driven for success, I still have my personal goals. I still have things I want to achieve. So it's not to say I'm not, but I think, yeah, I'm certainly one that will be willing to sacrifice if the benefit is for all.
Sure. So as a portfolio manager at TAF 21, Umastandi, more specifically, what are your main responsibilities and what does your day-to-day work look like?
I think the main responsibility is finding a new deal to finance. I think that's the most important one. There's a lot of other things, a lot of administrative tasks, a lot of stakeholder engagement. But the reason why I'm here is to bring your application, review it, tell you what to fix, tell you what's working well, and try pair it up with finance from us. And then ensure that most of what we said we're going to do gets done. That's the number one, I think, deliverable for me as a portfolio manager, is finding a new client to finance. But then in the day in life, we sit in an open plan office. So you've got your marketing department right here. You've got your administrators, you've got the credit analysts, you've got finance, you've got legal. So there's a lot of communication on managing and running the business of lending. You've got portfolio compliances, you've got all these assets, you've got first-time developers who don't understand the importance of fire compliance, property insurance, when collections are low, creative methods to boost their collections. So those are some of the other tasks we do in supporting clients. But yeah, most important, we're in the business of lending. So growing our loan book, getting finance out, is a daily task. And it also takes some time to put our projects together, because it's not the same as a home loan. It is property finance, but it's commercial property finance in the sense that we're lending to the business of that property development and not necessarily you yourself. So with the home loan, you can get a pre-approval maybe in one day, maybe the same day you get a pre-approval. They look at your income, they look at your expenses, they see, okay, in your credit score, and they say we can give you X amount based on your income and expenses. But the way we work, to the advantage of what we envisioned, to the advantage of a Umastandi applicant, is that maybe your personal income and expenses aren't the strongest. How do we still get a deal done if you've got an incomplete structure on your property that you once used? You had your payout from your stokvel, you started the project. Things haven't necessarily gone well, but there's ingredients here to make a deal work. So if we were solely lending on those home loan requirements of financial services provider, a lot of people would be excluded.